In today's episode of Project Sacrifice, we finally make the Alchemy table and we make the MK5 collector. With that being said, let's get into today's episode. In the last episode, we went to the blood magic inversion dimension thingy mabobber, and today I'm gonna go back there actually really quickly because I need lava for my smeltery. So in between episodes, I went ahead and built up our smeltery boy so that way we can go ahead and kick on with today's episode. But yeah, I built the smeltery and unfortunately you can't use the heater, so unfortunately we have to use lava. I was like, you know what, the best way to get lava is indeed going into this bad boy, and if you're lucky you can get one of these nether portal rooms which happens to have a bunch of free lava that you can go ahead and yoink from inside of here, which is beautiful. So I think the plan for today, looking at the quest book, I'm pretty sure what we need to do is we need to get to the tier 4 altar, which is going to be down here. So we have all of this to do, but I don't think we're going to be able to get that all today. I'd really like to try and get the alchemy table today if we can. I think that's a really good goal, but I just realized something. We can now upgrade our smelting capacity with the fans now, right? Because we now have lava. So this is really exciting. So if I take this and I make a quick and dirty fan, I should be able to put some lava in front of the fan and then a depot, and then that should in theory upgrade our smelting because, well, we're gonna need it, right? Because I want to smelt this copper crush stuff, put it in the thing, but we just don't have the capability of doing that right now. So if I put this down and then we grab another bucket really quickly, let me just put this water away and we'll grab some lava from over here and we put the lava down here. I am gonna have to move this a little bit, so let me just get another quick and dirty one of those shafts and then we should be good to go here, and hopefully this should be pretty much good to go. So you're gonna start spinning and then you're gonna start cooking. I think so. It does indeed cook. Oh my god, beautiful. So now I take this, right, because we're gonna want to make amethyst bronze, right, because that's what we've been trying to make this whole time. The amethyst bronze needs the copper ingot plus 1 gem of amethyst, and it looks like we can do it with the normal lava, but I am a bit concerned if we're gonna be able to do it or not, because it does look like we're gonna need like proto lava or something, which would not be ideal. So let's take the amethyst really quickly. I cannot seem to spell amethyst. We're gonna need 8 essence. Do I not have? Okay, so we're gonna need the high covalence dust in the blood altar. Okay, here is the true test. Is this gonna work? Putting the copper is gonna work, and it does look like putting that in there is gonna work. However, we're gonna need a little bit of a couple of things here. We're gonna need to get some gold ingots, right? Because we're gonna need these in ingot form, and I guess we'll use like iron or something. So we're gonna have to make like a casting mode real quick. I guess I could make a sand one as well, but I'd rather just use gold or something, and hopefully these don't mix. I didn't really check that, so we're just gonna YOLO it. Thankfully nothing happened there. We got our amethyst bronze ingots. I think we're ready to make our collector. I think we're pretty much there. So the MK5 collector, right, this guy here, yeah, we're just missing a block of glowstone or 2 blocks of glowstone, a lava crystal, which we have to make again. That's fine, that's relatively simple to make, and then this calcite, which requires stone and amethyst essence. That means I need to make 1 more of those, but that's honestly not that bad. We can just take this guy and take it over to our blood altar, and that should be all we need for that, for the calcite at least, and that's now done. So let's take that and put it in here like so. So there's a 20 calcite. Now we are gonna have to make another one of those annoying freaking lava crystals, which is gonna require the lightning charges, which is gonna require the blizz powder, and then of course the blank rune, the lapis, the water, and the freaking mixing basin. And just like that, we should now have the thing. We're just missing our magician's blood orb, which luckily we have in our inventory, and boom, there is our lava crystal. Lovely jubbly. And all I gotta do is put it all together. Once I make the glowstone, totally forgot about the glowstone. Oh, that needs more lightning charges. Are you kidding me right now? At least 8 more lightning charges. Are you kidding me right now? And just like that, we now have the 2 glowstone blocks like so. And boom, there is our MK5 quest completed. We're gonna have to get the alchemy table, however. Oh, bollocks, we need 2 of them? No way, we need 2 of them, right? Oh boy, we need 2 of them. Oh, you dirty little sneaky gamer developer dude. Okay, that's somewhat fair. I should have been paying attention. That's totally my fault. I will take that one on the chin. But dear Lord, I can just use bamboo, right? Yeah, that's super simple. Give me some torches, please. I hate myself for not paying attention for that. That is kind of my fault, honestly. And then we need actually more sticks. So let's get 2 more of those, please. That is unfortunate. I am gonna have to make another one of these because, well, we need it to get the EMC into this guy. So the way this thing works is it absorbs EMC from like collectors outside of it, right? So how bad is it gonna be? Like, how far am I off this right now? Oh my god, we just need to make the glowstone. That is not too bad. Making glowstone right now is not that terrible. You know what? I just realized I'm gonna need 8 more blank runes, but that should be relatively fine, right? All I was gonna do is take this and like automate it, and it should be fine, assuming we have enough blood in here, which we should. Okay, just like that, we now have 2 of these bad boys. And all I gotta do is put this here, and then that should start to go ahead and collect EMC for us. And to make blaze powder, which we're gonna need to do next, we're gonna need glowstone in the alchemy table with 3,456 EMC, which, okay, so we need to make another glowstone. That's gonna be fine, which means I'm gonna need another blank rune, of course. I should really just make a bunch of blank runes, shouldn't I? Because yeah, we're gonna probably need a lot of this, right? Well, let's look at the quest, right? So we're gonna need at least, I believe, 1 blaze powder turns into 1 blaze rod, and then that then turns into a heat engine, and then the heat engine we need 1 of. Okay, that's gonna make the deployer. Ooh, yeah, I see now. So if we want to go down this path, we're probably gonna need to do this, which the deployer needs a heat engine, andesite casing, and a brass hand. That's fine. So we don't need the precision mechanisms just yet. Okay, fair enough. That's good. Probably skip that part of it for now. So yeah, so let's just get this started. So we're gonna need another glowstone. So let's just make this quick one really quickly, and it should be relatively simple. It's already done probably. And then come over here and then grab our nether quartz, and then grab our lapis as well. Do I not have any more, or am I completely out again? No, we have plenty. Let me make this glowstone, and we're gonna toss it into that guy right there. As you can see, it is starting to fill up, which that means this is indeed working. And then we're gonna take this. Oh wait, hold on, let's make sure that we get the quest for it, because that would be not good. And I guess we can probably start working towards making the other stuff for the deployer. I'm not sure how many of these I'm gonna need to start with. It does look like I'm gonna start needing some more brass, which I believe we can make relatively easily. Yeah, it's just throwing iron nuggies into the smeltery. That's fine. That's relatively cheap then. And these are, everything else is relatively cheap minus the heat engine. That's gonna be a bit of a interesting little doozer, if you say so myself. Let me actually just grab a couple of iron nuggies real quick and make a bunch of the bronze essence. Okay, let's go ahead and make our very first deployer hand. I think we can pretty much make this. Now we are gonna need a small cogwheel and a big cogwheel. You know what? We don't have any oak planks. Yeah, we do. What the heck? That was weird. And then I guess a small one like that. That should be more than enough. Now it does look like we're out of andesite alloy. However, that's going to be putting andesite into the blood altar, and we're actually getting really low on the andesite, boys, which is not ideal. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the heat engine like so, and then let's go ahead and make the deployer. We are going to need to make the brass hand. That should be relatively simple. And then the andesite alloy casing, that's just going to require me to take a andesite alloy, which I believe we just used all of it. No, it's right here. So let's take one of those and then get some oak real quick and take this, and we just got to right click it like so, and then boom, we now have a stripped log. Do I have an extra axe laying around? I do. Perfect. And then now that we've got that, we should be able to make the first ever deployer. Let me just make sure that gets put in my inventory, and let me also make sure that gets put in my inventory as well, just in case if it is indeed a quest. And boom, there is our very very first deployer. Now, what do they want me to do with this deployer? They want me to make Goblet, which is interesting. So we're gonna need our comic Tataric gem again, and it needs 0 will, so that's good. So we're gonna need to make some more of that polished quartz stuff here. So quartz plus some redstone. We are running low on redstone. There we go. And then we're gonna need the sandpaper again, and we're gonna need to sandpaper that up real quick. Sandpaper in our offhand, and then the rose quartz in our main hand, like so. We're gonna eat it. That's the way I like to think about it. And then we're gonna need medium covalence dust, and I forget what else we need here. So for the goblet is what we're trying to make here. I can't seem to get my quest book to open for some reason. That's weird, but there we go. And we're gonna need this guy here, and we have this. We're gonna need coal, and we're gonna need diamonds, right? So coal is simple enough, and hopefully we have diamonds, because we're probably gonna have to make some more. We're down to our very last diamond. Not ideal. We'll figure it out. So now that we've got that, we're gonna need our common Tartaric gem from in here, and we're gonna go ahead and slap it into here with all of these guys, and that should make that. What was the other thing in that book? This guy here, the prismarine agglomeratio. So the bioforge is gonna require me to get prismarine crystals and prismarine shards, which I can get from, I would assume, getting the thing. Oh, right here, prismarine earth charges. No, that can't be right? We have to find some way to get access to prismarine shards, and it looks like the best way to do that is going to be bulk haunting, but that requires me to get soul sand, if I'm not mistaken. So soul sand looks like this. It's nether essence, fire essence, and nether essence, and or bulk haunting, philosopher's stone, which I don't think we can make yet. We're not quite there yet. There was a deployer recipe. I'm not sure. So I was looking through JEI, and I noticed that this looks like it could be melted or molten. I wonder if I can take this and throw this in here. I can. Interesting. How much do I get for that? 60 millibuckets of demon will. Interesting, because if I take a few of these now and I get like some sand or whatever, I'm pretty sure I can actually make soul sand. Is that the way that I'm meant to do this? I believe so. So if I put this here and then we like pour this onto here, I don't know how much it takes or anything, but this should make my first block of soul sand or soil, right? No, it makes my first block of soul sand, which means I could probably put down another fan and then like bulk haunt. Okay, here is the moment of truth. If I do this and I do this, will this turn into prismarine? Please, for the love of God, that would be amazing. And then what do I do with it though? I then take, I guess, this and we put it in the we put it in the doodad over there, and it should in theory make the other things that we need for this. And then I think we take it in the bio lab, and let me also get some more nutrient paste for this guy because he's running a bit low, and this guy is good to go as well. It did make my prismarine shards. You are absolutely beautiful. We are going to need 2 of these guys now, and then once this finishes, we're going to take that and put it in the bio lab to go ahead and make the prismarine agglomerate that we need. And just like that, we should be able to make the prismarine agglomerate. So 1, and oh my god, it's 2 for 1. Oh my god, that's expensive. Okay, so now we've got to go ahead and make deep slate, and deep slate is, oh god, we gotta make cobbled deep slate somehow. And to do that, we're gonna need the deployer with coal essence and stone brick with a deployer. How do I get coal essence though? Right, we gotta take coal blocks and put it into the blood altar, and we've got plenty enough coal. I don't know how much deep slate we're gonna need, so I'm just gonna make 1 for now. So let's put that in there. Oh wait, it's gonna get sucked out. It's not blacklisted in here, so put that in there. You do that for me, please. Good question is, where the heck am I putting this? I guess back here. I can't make that. I guess I could make that a vertical gearbox, right? So if I just grab this, I found it. It landed all the way over here somehow, but let me go ahead and take this and turn it into a vertical gearbox, and hopefully that's gonna be a-okay. Oh god, I don't want a vertical gearbox, do I? Because deployers take horizontal power. I'm gonna want another vertical gearbox. It doesn't really matter which way it's spinning, honestly, for this guy. So what we'll do is we'll put it here, and then you're gonna go there, but you're gonna be facing the other direction. I need you to face down, please. We are currently overstressed. Yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna fix this. I guess for right now, what I could do, actually, I cannot access the stupid little thing for this. These drawers can't be here, particularly just these two. I guess to fix that is put them here and here. How the hell am I going to get up there now? That's an even better question. The answer to that question is jank staircase. And I can probably half this again to 64. I mean, that's really slow. We're going to definitely want to add more like stress units to this. But yeah, that deployer should not be working, which means I'm going to need another depot. Okay, so let's take our coal essence, right? Which we should have over here in this beautiful little chest. Let's take our coal essence and then put it into the deployer with a stone brick, right? And that's supposed to give us what we're looking for. So if I put you in this hand like so, and then I put you here, that should give us our deep slate cobble, which then we have to make more of, or we have to smelt it at least to make the deep slate. Let's go over here. Can I cook it here? That's the wrong thing. Can I cook it here, or can I cook it here? It's here. What do we got to do next? So we have the deep slate. We're gonna have to do this. Oh my god. So we need 3 deep slate. Okay, so let's go get that, I guess. So I'm gonna need at least 2 more blocks, or 2 more essence, that is. So coal, and then we're gonna make it into coal blocks like so, times 2, and then dump that into here, and that should be relatively cheap and easy. So there is our 2 coal essence, and then that coal essence is gonna get turned into deep slate. It doesn't look like this is cooking. You know what? It's probably cooking really slow. So at this point, I'm probably better off just using my furnace at this point, right? Because yeah, that way it's not that slow. Now that we have the 3 deep slate, which is looking like we're gonna need a little bit more. Oh my god, we're gonna need at least 2 more. Oh, I see now. Okay, and that's how you make that thing. But I think I also need to make this thing, which requires, oh my god, we're gonna need so many of the freaking imbued slates. That is a lot, and a lot of deep slate, and there isn't really, wait, hold on, no, because I need this guy, right? And we can't make that till the tier 4 blood altar. There is no easy way to farm cobble deep slate, is there? I don't think so. Isn't that expensive? Like, I should just man up and just make it or whatever. Oh god, dude, doing 16 of these is gonna be very expensive. How much blood is even that? That's like a lot of blood. Yeah, it's 1,300 per. That's a lot of blood. Dude, this is gonna get really despair really quickly. Alrighty, we got all the deep slate that we're probably gonna need, potentially, maybe not. So let's start with this, I guess. So that's gonna require, oh, we're gonna need this. Oh no. Uh-oh. How do I get this? I assume it's going to be some sort of casting recipe, potentially moltenized or something. Yeah, this stuff. Yeah, where the heck, or how the heck do I make this stuff? How the heck do I make this? Molten diamond poured onto endstone. Uh-oh, I'm gonna need a lot of diamonds for that, and it looks like I'm gonna need blazing blood, or blazing something here, blazing copper. Blazing blood plus copper. Blazing blood is getting a blaze to spawn, or a blaze head. So we're gonna have to figure out some way to summon. So looking in JEI, I found that I can make the blaze spawn egg with generic compound, volatile fluids, and eggs. Okay, so we're gonna need some chickens for that. That's not bad. Volatile fluids is going to be volatile glands and or magma cream. The volatile gland can't be made. Magma cream can be made using blaze powder and or slime. The question is, can I get slime reliably? But I did also see something else in there that looked interesting. The coagulated blood we can make, but the latex is interesting. How does one make latex? Is that going to be simple enough for us to make? Separating with industrial contraptions. So centrifuging with this guy, probably not the easiest thing to get our hands on. Also, I guess a better question is, if I take myself some rotten flesh and throw it into the smeltery, will that melt into blood? Because if that melts into blood, we can easily make some of that congealed slime. It does. Now, I accidentally just made life essence. Oh, life essence fluid. That could be made in the smeltery with demon will crystals. Interesting. Whoops. Did not mean to do that, but that's fine. We've got some blood now. We should be able to make some coagulated blood thingies, and then this can get turned into magma creams, which we can then turn into the things that we need. All right, we're trying to make the blaze egg, and the blaze egg is going to require this volatile fluid. Oh my god, we only get one. Oh, this is gonna be so expensive. Surely there's got to be a better way to make this. There isn't an easier way to make blaze powder either. Do you know what? Actually, I think what we can do, oh, we can infinitely dupe the blaze powders, right? Because if we turn the blaze powder into the blaze rod, throw it in the crusher to get more, and then we keep cycling that like loop. We take the blaze powders, turn to blaze rods, throw it in the crusher. We keep cycling that. We can actually get infinite blaze rods. Interesting. Unfortunately, guys, we're out of time for today's episode of Project Sacrifice. With that being said, if you guys did enjoy today's episode of Project Sacrifice, please do me a huge favor, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, ding dong that notification bell, become a part of the Council of Elders. As always, guys, I love you. I'm gonna leave you till next time. Bye bye. Thing for this. Oh no, this is not good. This is not good, guys. How do